Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Anthony, and today we're back with another collection video. Of course, we are showcasing the PS4 2024 Collection. These are all the games that I have currently right now. Of course, the collection is going to get a little bit bigger over time, but I just wanted to showcase what we have so far. We are recording this video back on the desk again, which is actually pretty good. I haven't been able to make videos in a while just because we got the TV. And if you're wondering where the TV is, it's actually currently right now on the floor next to me.
It's the things we love most that destroy us.
We also surpassed 1,000 subscribers recently, and I want to say thank you very much to everyone who's continued to support my channel and continuing to grow. But without further ado, let's get into this video. Okay, so first thing that we are going to start off with showing is, of course, the consoles themselves. This is my regular PlayStation 4. This is the very first model that I actually got, just the 500GB model, nothing too special here. The only reason why I ended up getting a PlayStation 4 in general was just for the exclusive games at the time. So stuff like Uncharted 4 when it came out, and of course when they kind of did a bit of a remaster of The Last of Us. Next up we have the PS4 Pro. This is the Death Stranding model of the console. The controller itself is actually quite unique. If you can see right there, a little bit of on the touchpad, you got Death Stranding showcasing on the middle. What's very cool about this console right here is most of you may or may not notice it, but inside the handprints you have actually the contents of the planet, North America, South America, and then Africa, Europe, and Asia over there. So first up for the PSVR, we have Doom VR. I haven't played this one. I actually haven't played any of the Doom series at all. I've been meaning to play this one, I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Until Dawn, Rush of Blood. This is another game that I've been meaning to play, but for the longest time I never had the copy of it, and I recently got it at a video game expo that I was at recently, so very happy to have this one in the collection. PlayStation VR Worlds. This is kind of like a demo disc for multiple VR games that you can play, and of course some of these games they weren't digital. They actually came up and they actually got a physical release. Bravo Team. I haven't played this one as well. I've been meaning to play it. There's actually another game on here that I have that I got the PSVR gun for, and I've been meaning to use it with this game and of course the other game. Next game we have is Tetris Effect Connected. This is also a PSVR game. I picked mine up from VGP. They do a lot of reprints for video games and managed to always have some sealed copies lying around of video games. So I haven't opened this one up yet, but it is a Tetris video game, and Tetris is just Tetris. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. This is the complete edition apparently. I haven't played this one as well. I've been meaning to get around to it. If this is anything like the TV series, this might be a pretty kick-ass game. We have Concrete Genie. I don't know too much about it. I kind of went off on a whim and just grabbed it. As you can see, my copy is still sealed, but it's one of those games that I'll either get around to playing or I'll end up probably just leaving it sealed. Batman Arkham VR. This is another game that I've been wanting to play, but I haven't. Batman VR game. This game is probably going to be kick-ass, and I remember watching a little bit of gameplay footage of it, and that's kind of intrigued me to find it. And these are still relatively cheap. I think you can find them for 10 to 20 bucks Canadian, so definitely worth checking it out. Similar to Batman, we have Iron Man VR. This is another game that I need to play. My favorite superhero is, of course, Iron Man, Tony Stark. And I have not played this one yet, and I'm kicking myself in the ass. With these VR games, there's not enough room in my room to play these games, so these might have to be saved for another time when I have my own house. Astro Bot Rescue Mission. This is definitely a game that I recommend picking up for everyone. This one I have played. It's a fantastic video game. If you want to be wowed, like a VR experience, I recommend getting Astro Bot for the PSVR. Star Wars Squadrons. This one is still sealed right here. I have not opened it yet, of course, but it's something I've been meaning to get around and play as well. Robinson the Journey. There's dinosaurs in it. There's a dinosaur in it, and you're like this astronaut, and you're on this sci-fi world planet, and I thought to myself, okay, this is going to be a badass VR game, and sure enough, watching gameplay footage of it was, and that's the reason why we have the copy in our collection. Excuse me as I butcher the title of this one here, but I think it's Sayrent VR. This one is kind of harder to find on its own out in the wild, and this is one of those games that I picked up at a video game expo, and luckily someone had it. They had it for 30 bucks Canadian at the time, so definitely wanted to grab it and try it out. Paranormal Activity: The Lost Soul. This is a horror game for the VR, and I like horror games, I like VR, so I ended up grabbing this one. I enjoyed the Paranormal Activity movies while growing up as a kid, so I definitely had to pick up this one and add it to the collection. Same thing with The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. We have The Walking Dead Onslaught. This is the deluxe edition of the game. I haven't played this one yet either, but again, I'm Big fan of the Walking Dead series, and these are games that I definitely wanted to check out and try. Alright, here's that other video game, that Firewall 0 Hour, and I watched some gameplay footage of this one, and it kind of hooked me in, and that's the reason why we ended up grabbing it. Now this one I do have the gun with it as well. I have a lot more space, so I definitely want to play a lot of these games. PlayStation VR Demo Disc 3. So these this demo disc features games like Job Simulator, we got Moss in the corner, and then we got Astrobot right there. This one is definitely a must. There are other games on the back right here, like Super Hot VR. That is a very fantastic video game to play as well. If you want to get a PlayStation VR, but you don't know what games you want to get, try and get the demo discs, because they will kind of persuade you into a direction of games you may or may not like. Right here we have Neptunia. My copy right here is a little frayed at the top, and I actually don't remember when I got this one. If it looks like that, I probably ended up getting it for relatively cheap and wanting to get around to play it, but I guess I never did. So that's Neptunia. I don't have much to say about it. I'm not too sure what the game is about. I enjoyed the PSVR game demo of Moss so much that I had to go out and find the game. Now this one was getting harder to find in my area at the time. I ended up paying 50 bucks Canadian for it, and this was only like a couple months ago, so this game is still kind of holding its value. Blood and Truth, PlayStation VR. I've played so much of this game. I almost beat it. I was on like the last mission. And again, then I kind of started buying other items for my room, and it kind of just stopped me from playing this one. So I never finished this actually, but this is a fantastic video game, and it's well worth checking out. Resident Evil Biohazard, this has the PlayStation VR mode included with it, and once you boot this game up, you are thrown right into the Resident Evil realm, and it's actually a perfect video game. Now, I haven't beat this fully through, but I have played a little bit of the VR mode, and what can I tell you? If you like scary games and you like, like being scared to shitless and just having something on your head, it's totally something else. And then last up we have for the PlayStation VR, Farpoint. Now, I grabbed this one on a whim. I never played it yet, but it's one of those games I eventually will get around to playing. Well, you can't show the VR games without the VR headset, of course, and this is my VR headset. I have it right now just in the box. The version that I have of this VR is, I think, version 2. Here we have the PlayStation 4 games. We have Ratchet & Clank. This is the Platinum Hits Edition. It's fantastic. I beat it fully through. I grew up playing the Ratchet & Clank games as a kid on the PlayStation 2, of course, and Insomniac Games has owned the franchise since then, and they just know how to make a perfect Ratchet & Clank game. So this one's definitely a must, and it's actually like pretty cheap. It's like anywhere from like $5 to $10 Canadian. Minecraft for the PlayStation 4. This is, of course, a must to have in your collection if you love the Minecraft series. I have this game on multiple consoles, and I wasn't going to stop without the PlayStation 4 as well. Believe it or not, this actually has a PSVR mode in it. So if you have a PSVR and you don't have Minecraft, you probably want to check it out and try it out. It's actually very fun. The Yakuza games, we have Yakuza 0. Mine is still sealed. I haven't opened it yet. I ended up just grabbing this. It was like 10 bucks at the time, so I thought, why not? I've heard a lot of good things about the Yakuza series, and it's definitely one of those things that I do need to check out. The Last of Us Part 2. This one is still sealed right now. I only watched a YouTuber play it. I wasn't happy with Naughty Dog's decision on what they decided in the game. There's just something in here that might piss you off in the story, but in the end, it made up for a great game. Killzone Shadowfall. This is one of the PlayStation 4 console launches, I think, if I remember correctly. I ended up watching, I think, the YouTuber Rad Brad at the time play this game. And of course, here we have Death Stranding for the PS4. This game is fantastic. Again, I've been playing a little bit of it. I haven't beaten it yet. It's a fantastic game. Right now, it's currently in the PS4 Pro, the one that I showed earlier. Now, this is a recent purchase. I think I got it for like 10 bucks. So it's Star Trek Resurgence. I don't know much to say about it, other than if you like the Star Trek series, this is a game that you may want to pick up. It's a video game that's very fun. It's Gris for the PlayStation 4. This one is actually a limited run game, and it's number 313 in the series. 50% almost on the video game, and I definitely want to get back into this and playing it again. I find myself that I'm starting to play games that only take like 2 to 3 hours to beat, just because that's the only time that I can really find myself just sitting down and playing. So small games like these are a huge joy, and they're just relaxing, and it's definitely a game that everybody should pick up. We got Override Mech City Brawl. This is the Supercharged Mega Edition. I went out on a whim on this one. This one was like $5 brand new from GameStop. So I played it, tried it a little bit. It's kind of like a Godzilla and robots, and they're all fighting each other. It's one of those games. Outlast Trinity for the PlayStation 4. This one is kind of getting expensive a little bit. I think it's like a $40 or $50 game Canadian right now. But but I ended up playing Outlast originally on the Xbox One. I ended up getting a digital. There was a physical copy that came up in my area recently for the PS4, so I ended up having to grab it, of course, and add it to my collection. Hellblade: Sonya's Sacrifice. This game is fantastic, and I can't wait for the second one to come out. The only problem with that one is I heard it was going to be a digital-only release, not a physical release. And me, I'm a big physical collector, and I like to have games that I can physically hold and have, and sell and trade and whatnot if I ever decide to get rid of them. This is a recent pickup. Excuse me as I butcher the name. It's Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. It is a From Software game, so that's something that I like to point out. I heard nothing but great reviews about this game, and also it being a pain in the ass, and people dying a lot in this game. It kind of being like a Bloodborne or like Dark Souls type of game. I ended up keeping this one in the recent bundle that I picked up. The Uncharted Nathan Drake Collection. Again, this is one of those games that only persuaded me into getting my PS4 in the first place, is playing games like these. I've been a fan of Naughty Dog since the Jak and Daxter days, and they just know how to make a good game series, and I'm definitely glad that this one is in the collection. Here we have Deadpool. This is a fantastic video game. It originally came out on the PS3 and Xbox 360, and then of course the newer console generation of PS4 and Xbox One got their own versions of the game as well. The PS4 version right now is currently shot up in value. I think it's like around $70 or $80 Canadian, and same thing with the Xbox version. It's also shot up as well. So if you find this out in the wild and it's like 30 or 20 bucks, you definitely want to pick it up. It's actually worth playing as well. This other game, I kind of just went out on a whim and just grabbed it. It's called Space Hulk Ascension. I ended up paying only like $2 for it, so there's nothing wrong with that. It was from GameStop at the time, of course, and I don't got much to say about it other than it was a $2 game, and I didn't want to pass up on it. Here we have Shadow Warrior for the PS4. This is actually a very fun video game, kind of like a remaster, I guess, of the original game on the PlayStation 1. So I played a little bit of this one, I enjoyed it. I have the second one in the series, and I'll show you guys that a little bit in the video. Here we have Uncharted 4, Thief's End. Again, another Naughty Dog game. It's perfect. It's one of their best games in the series, and it sucks that the series had to end. But Naughty Dog knows when to end a series, and they know the next series to make is going to be just as badass as the previous one. So if you haven't played Uncharted 4 or Thief's End, this is something that is definitely a must and that you should pick up. Public for the PlayStation 4. I only grabbed this one out on a whim just because it kind of intrigued me when I was watching another YouTuber play it, and I think I only paid like 20 bucks for this Canadian, so I think it was worth the pickup. I haven't played through it yet, but that's something I can get around to playing. Of course, with all these PS4 games, I can always play them on my PS5. I have God of War in the series for PlayStation 4. If you haven't picked up God of War and played it yet, this is a fantastic game. It's showcased on the PS4. Now, the second one has come out, and I haven't picked it up yet. I've been meaning to pick it up for the PlayStation 5, but if you haven't tried out the God of War game, this is definitely one that you want to play. Infamous Second Son for the PlayStation 4, made by Sucker Punch Studios. Sucker Punch Studios came out with a great game for the launch of the PS4, and then they released Ghost of Tsushima as their last game on the PS4 and going into the PS5. This studio knows how to make video games. They're similar to Naughty Dog, and I can really appreciate when PlayStation supports good studios like these and just keeps them going. So Infamous Second Son, if this is a fantastic video game. If you haven't played it, it's definitely worth checking out. Next two video games right here, we have Jak 2. This is made by, of course, Naughty Dog. This was originally on the PlayStation 2. Again, I grew up playing these games alongside the Ratchet & Clank series, so when they made an announcement that they were releasing this for the PlayStation 4, I definitely had to end up grabbing it. Jak 3, of course, is right here. Now, I don't have the Jak Combat Racing, and I should also mention too that these actually both are limited run games. So we have number 212 right here, and then this is 258 for Jak 3. But these are games that I grew up on while playing them on the PlayStation 2 as a kid, so it made sense to grab them on the PlayStation 4. Of course, you get a little bit of a graphical upgrade. Here we have another horror game. We have Those Who Remain. I went into this game knowing nothing. I paid like 20 bucks for it, and When I was playing it, I was a little confused as to what to do right away, but basically the premise of this game is from what I was understanding is there's these monsters in the dark, and if you kind of go towards them, the camera gets all fuzzy and shaky, and that's pretty much just an indication of you dying in the game, I guess. Final Fantasy, this is a day one edition. Now, I haven't played this one yet. These are the types of games that when they launch on the console, they kind of showcase what the console is made of, pushing the PlayStation 4 to its graphical limits, of course. It's one of those games that I will pop in eventually and give it a try. Here we have Shadow of the Colossus. This was originally on the PlayStation 2 back in the day, and I played it on the PlayStation 2, and the fact that there was kind of like a remaster for the PlayStation 4 made me want to grab it. My copy is still sealed, and I'm probably just going to end up leaving it sealed. Here I have a copy of Blue Reflection. This is one of those games that got a reprint multiple times by VGP. So if you're looking for kind of harder to find video games, definitely check out VGP's website. They are one of those stores that are able to get video games that are reprinted somehow. But I haven't played this one yet. I've been meaning to open it. It's definitely one of those games that I need to get around to play. Here we have The Order of 1886. This is a fun video game. I've enjoyed it. One of those odd games on the PlayStation 4. This one's definitely worth checking out, and definitely worth a buy. Shadow Warrior 2. This is of course the sequel to the PlayStation 4 Shadow Warrior 1 game. This is a special reserve game right here, so my copy number is 1711. Actually came with, of course, Shadow Warrior 2 on the right there, and then just below it we have the original Shadow Warrior for the PlayStation 4. So in the end, I guess I can end up selling my first copy of Shadow Warrior and just have this one. Here's another horror game for you guys out there that love horror games. This is Blair Witch for the PlayStation 4. I recently picked this one up for $10, no joke, and I know it's worth like 40 or 50 bucks right now, so this is something that I definitely want to play and try again. When I have the time and I can kind of set the mood and the atmosphere and turn the lights down, these are the games I like to play. Alien Isolation. This, I believe, just recently got its release on the Switch, and I think it was through Limited Run Games, and of course those copies of the games have shot in value astronomically. There's the price that I paid right there. I paid $8 for it at GameStop at the time. So definitely need to get around to playing this one. It was on the Xbox 360, and I believe I did play it on the Xbox 360 at one point. Away, the Survival series. Again, this is one of those games that you could probably beat in 4 to 5 hours, and these are the types of games that I kind of just been drawing myself to, just because they're very relaxed and very comfortable. It's a little buggy, but it's definitely a solid game and worth picking up. There is another game that is you can beat in under 3 hours. This is like a perfect video game for those who just want to relax. What you're basically doing is just swimming around, and I'm not gonna spoil it too much, but you definitely go through a lot of depths of the ocean. If you just want a calm, relaxing game, this is definitely one of those to pick up. We have Marvel Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4. This is made by Insomniac Games, and if you haven't played this game, you guys gotta check them out. Insomniac Games knows how to make video games. They're like Naughty Dog, and also Sucker Punch Studios. They just know how to make great games. So if you haven't checked out Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4, it's definitely worth grabbing and definitely worth picking up. Halo's Principle. If you like kind of like puzzle games, this is definitely one worth picking up. I just went on a whim and grabbed it one day. I think it was like 25 bucks, and I ended up playing it for probably like 2 or 3 hours just non-stop. This is definitely a fantastic video game if you like puzzles. Days Gone for the PlayStation 4. This game was really hyped when it came out back then, and it's still a great game to play. I played a little bit of the game. I haven't gotten too far into it. Definitely a game worth checking out. Soul Calibur 6 for the PlayStation 4. This is a video game series that I've been playing since I was a kid on the PlayStation 1 days, and Soul Calibur throughout the years has just been perfect, so this one's definitely a must to grab for your collection. Into Silence on the PlayStation 4. I haven't played this one. I ended up just going out on a whim and grabbing it. It was like $10 at GameStop at the time, so don't know much to say about it. Quantic Dream Collection, which features Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain, and Beyond Two Souls. I have played Detroit Become Human, and this is a fantastic video game. There's lots of YouTubers that have done reviews on it, so it's definitely worth checking out someone play it. What I haven't played is Heavy Rain or Beyond Two Souls. Now, these originally came out on the PlayStation 3 back in the day. Rush 2 for the PlayStation 4. I ended up picking this one up like probably 3 or 4 months ago. I played a little bit of it, and I've been enjoying it since then. Last video game that I have for the PlayStation 4 collection is Sakuna of Rice and Ruin. This is the Divine Edition. We have this like little cloth charm right here. Mine is still sealed. We have the soundtrack to the video game. We have a big giant art book of the video game, kind of displaying the characters, the locations, and what went into making the video game. And of course we have the game itself, and this is actually one of those games that I haven't played yet, but I have the limited edition for it, and I definitely need to get into playing this one. So that's going to do it for the PlayStation 4 collection video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. There are a lot of games in there that you may or may not have in your collection that you want to add now, and that's kind of what these collection videos are for. So if you did enjoy the video, please like, subscribe,